State versus Aaron Tullos, 17-460. Possession of controlled substances, drug paraphernalia. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and it appears that you're here for an arraignment.
Judge, we enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay.
And if the court could just let us know what his bond is currently.
$2,500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That'd be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
17-458, Jessica Schaefer. Charge of drug paraphernalia, controlled substances, unauthorized use of a vehicle. Ms. Schaefer.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at a police statement here and some conditions of suspension or probation. Have you gone over these?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay.
Did we not sit down and go over them together just a few minutes ago?
Yes. I mean,
What, do you need more time to go over?
no, sir.
Okay. Do you feel you understand what is in these documents?
Briefly, that I get probation and...
Well, why don't we just...
We'll reread
Yes,
them,
sir.
Judge. and
No.
I'll answer all the questions that you have.
All right.
What? I've never...
State versus Gary Hart, 17-452. Domestic battery and a criminal attempt of some kind. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and looks like you're appearing here for an arraignment.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how
We'll
does-
plead not guilty, Your Honor.
okay, we'll enter the plea of not guilty. Case will be before Judge Webb. He should appear on, or shall appear on January 18th at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that'd be all, sir. Thank you. 17-451, State versus Ryan Hodges. Charge of possession of controlled substances, drug paraphernalia, and some driving offenses. Mr. Hodges, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of suspension or probation. Have you gone over these documents?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand what's in the documents?
You have to say yes or no, because she's...
Yes.
Okay. You understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes.
Sir, are you pleading guilty to possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, driving on suspended license, and no insurance?
Yes.
By entering this plea, you're giving up your right to have a trial, and also giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you entering the pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Have you been promised anything other than what's in these documents?
No, sir.
Have you been pressured or coerced to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty, sir?
Yes.
Okay. What did he do?
Your Honor, this arises at a traffic stop here in Baxter County on December the 4th of this year. This gentleman was stopped, and he did not have a valid driver's license at the time he'd been suspended, nor did he have insurance on the vehicle that he was driving. A search of that vehicle after this man's arrest revealed a small 1.3 grams of methamphetamine and a number of syringes, which make up the paraphernalia charge.
Is that true, sir?
Yes.
Okay. This time, sir, accept your plea and judge you guilty for possession of methamphetamine. You're sentenced to 4 years in the Department of Corrections for possession of drug paraphernalia, 4 years in the Department of Corrections for driving on a suspended license, 6 months in the county jail, for no insurance, 1 day in the Baxter County Jail, and those terms will be suspended on conditions. You are to pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee is $250, a $20 booking fee, $200 public defender fee, and a drug crime assessment of $125. Pay what you owe at the minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. Make your payments to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County. State versus Rex Foster, 17-448. Sir, looking at your affidavit here, I'm not sure you qualify for the public defender. You make $3,000 a month and you have no expenses of any kind.
I have truck payment and
Well, need to work on this a little bit.
Judge, for today's purposes, could we go ahead and finish his arraignment, and we'll take that up later if we need to.
Okay,
He'll plead not guilty today, and I believe that his bond is $2,500. If you just let us know that for sure.
Judge, he's actually on parole, so I think there's actually a parole public purpose too. Bond may not be an issue. I don't want to make bond. I get out of jail.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and so if we can,
I guess,
if we just have it set, then we'll know.
I guess he can bond it unless there's something else holding him.
And that is $2,500 according to what.
I don't know. $2,500.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll have him finish that application and resubmit it.
Okay, and he'll appear before Judge Webb for attorney status January 18th, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State versus Larry Harris, 17447. Drug paraphernalia, possession of firearms by certain persons. That's 17447 and 17449. Hey, Andrew?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. And you're here for arraignment on, looks like drug charges.
Enter plead not guilty on those charges,
Okay.
Your Honor.
We'll enter pleas of not guilty in both cases. And you need, when will his pretrial be?
March 15th, Your Honor.
March 15th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll have a pretrial on March 15th at 10 o'clock. Soon thereafter, as we can get to it.
Judge, could we address, I know that according to probation and parole, there will be holds coming. Can we just make sure that it's clear what his bond is, if that does not happen, or if they're lifted later?
Well, one case has got $10,000 bond. Let me see which case that is. It's 17,449. Let's see, 17,447 is he on probation?
He is, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it was the state's intention to make this man's bond a total of $25,000.
Yeah, in the other case it's 15, so yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just wanted to be clear.
State versus Robert Penny, 17,446. First degree murder, aggravated assault, criminal mischief. Morning.
Yes, sir.
See, do you have a lawyer, sir?
Judge, we've been appointed, yes,
Okay.
sir. And I think he's been arraigned,
Oh, has he?
maybe, I don't know.
Over Skype.
That would have been, maybe just an appointment.
Right. But yeah, this is for arraignment.
We'll enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll enter the plea of not guilty, and he should reappear before Judge Webb on January 18th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. State versus Travis Langston, 17,365. Drug paraphernalia. Mr. Langston, I'm looking at a police statement and some terms and conditions of probation or suspension. Have you gone over these?
Yes, sir.
Or do you feel you understand what's in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you pleading guilty to possession of drug paraphernalia, a felony, and also possession of drug paraphernalia, a misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By entering your pleas, you're giving up your right to have a trial and giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Other than what's in these documents, have you been promised anything in order to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Have you been pressured or threatened to get you to change your plea?
Yes, sir.
Are you guilty of these crimes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did he do?
Judge, in September, this arises out of a parole compliance visit on a person by the name of Keith Tribbett. This gentleman was in the home of Keith Tribbett when there was found there certain items of drug paraphernalia, specifically those used for smoking marijuana and those for consuming methamphetamine.
Okay, so you were in possession of some drug paraphernalia at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This time, sir, I accept your plea. Judge you guilty for possession of drug paraphernalia, the felony. You're sentenced to 2 years in Department of Corrections. For the misdemeanor, 6 months in the county jail, both to be suspended. You pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, $200 in public defender fees, a drug crime assessment of $125. Pay what you owe at the minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. And make your payments to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County. Cynthia Pyatt, 17-323, 17-313, 17-309, furnishing articles and delivery of methamphetamine.
Your Honor, Ms. Pyatt is here. She is, and she has been an ADC, still is an ADC. She's been brought up today. If we could pass her for the time being, Your Honor, we'd like to try to work something out on all three of her cases today, but there's no need to bring her in right now.
Okay. State versus Kelly Howard, 17-317. Possession of controlled substances, drug paraphernalia, driving on suspended license.
Judge, I represent Mr. Howard. There's no action to take today. We're trying to resolve these cases, in this case, as soon as possible. We'll have him brought back before the court at your next reappearance date. Hopefully resolve it by then. I think he's set for trial.
January 4th, 10 o'clock.
Is that the date they set for trial? When is the trial set?
February 20th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State versus Michael Short, 17-319. Criminal conspiracy and unlawful use of a communication device.
I represent Mr. Short as well. He's here before the court today. The only case pending now is 17-319. Everything else, I believe, has been resolved in this court.
No, there's a problem with the sentencing order of the last charges.
The one that Baker represented you on?
Yeah, I signed for 10, 4 suspended, but
Well,
then he
he's not
suspended
going to take
4.
that up right now. Judge, I'll talk to you about it. Judge, this is a case that he is rejecting the plea offer and is set for trial in February. We'll leave it as scheduled.
Okay.
I don't know what it's done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Luke Kidwell, 17-307. Drug fraud, controlled substances, criminal mischief. Mr. Tidwell, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of suspension of probation. Have you gone over these documents?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand what's in the documents?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to controlled substances, fraudulent practices, possession of hydrocodone, and criminal mischief?
Yes, sir.
You're giving up your right to have a trial and an appeal by pleading guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering these pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Have you been promised anything other than what's in these plea documents?
No, sir.
Have you been pressured or coerced or threatened in any manner to get you to change your plea?
No, sir.
Are you guilty of these crimes?
Yes, sir.
What did he do?
Judge, on this, these arise out of occurrences that took place on July 20th of this year. This gentleman stole his grandmother's medication, tramadol, gabapentin, prednisone, and hydrocodone from her residence here in Baxter County. He was arrested later in the day and found to be in possession of all 4 of those substances. He also did about $5,000 worth of damage to a vehicle, a recreational vehicle parked behind Action Welding on the same day.
Did you do that?
Yes, sir.
Does he have any priors?
Judge, he doesn't have priors. There were some things done around the same time in a different county that he's pled to, but nothing, now he does, not when these occurred.
Judge, his criminal history score is 0.
Okay. For, on each charge, for each offense, you're sentenced to 4 years in the Department of Corrections to be suspended. You pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, a $20 booking fee, $200 in public defender fees, a drug crime assessment of $125, and have you not yet agreed on a restitution amount?
The state's position is $5,000.
Is that,
I don't know why that says to be determined. That's when it was written.
We'll look at it and we'll stipulate to a figure to put in there.
if there's a problem, let me know.
We will.
You pay what you owe at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning within 60 days after your release. Make your payments to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County.
Judge, that $5,000 looks to be appropriate.
Okay, $5,000 in restitution. 16-289, State versus Amy Henson. It's a revocation.
Judge, could we recall this matter so I can speak with Amy?
You can recall it.
That's okay.
Jasanda Collins, 16309. It's a revocation.
Judge, we worked out a resolution in this matter. I believe the state's going to amend that to contempt, and we're going to plead true for 89 days in county jail.
That is correct.
Ma'am, while on probation, did you fail to report as directed, failed to pay as directed, avoided contact with your probation officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna find you in contempt, send you to 89 days in the county jail. John Everett Schrum, 17459.
17.
Possession of controlled substances, several counts, paraphernalia also. Morning. Who represents you, sir? Who represents you?
Nobody.
Are you gonna hire a lawyer or make out?
Yes.
You're gonna hire a lawyer, okay. Do you understand the charges against you?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. Reappear, we'll enter that plea, reappear for attorney status on January 4th at 10 o'clock.
Forward.
4th.
Thank you.
Thank you. State versus Alexis Bates, 17456.
Your Honor, public defender was just appointed in this case. It's Mr. Bailey. I'm standing in for him in this matter. We can waive a formal reading of the charges.
Okay. We'll enter a plea of not guilty. She shall reappear before Judge Webb on January 18th at 9 o'clock.
Hold on, she'll do something.
State versus Rebecca McDowell, 17455. Drug paraphernalia.
If I
Yes,
may
sir.
approach.
You may. Ma'am, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I think you're appearing for an arraignment. How does she plead?
Better she plead not guilty and waive a formal reading of the charges.
Very well. We'll enter that plea. We'll have a pre-trial in your case on March 15th next year, and make an appointment to visit with the Public Defender's Office.
All right, thank you.
Joshua Calloway, 17454. Commercial burglary. You have a lawyer, sir.
I haven't applied yet.
Say it again.
I have not applied yet for a public defender. I don't have one.
You intend to apply?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fill out an application. We'll recall your case. Kelly McLennan, is that correct? 17453. Drug paraphernalia, DWI, other charges. So I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I think you're here for an arraignment also.
He is, Your Honor. If we could enter a plea of not guilty and waive a formal reading of the charges.
Okay, we'll enter that plea and have a pre-trial in your case on March 15th at 10 o'clock. You need to make an appointment to visit with the Public Defender's Office as soon as possible. Here to go. State versus Cynthia Sakian, is that correct? Type of assault. Okay, there's been an entry of appearance by Darren O'Quinn. We've issued a scheduling order now. We'll enter a plea of not guilty. Ronald Mitchell, 17,399.
Your Honor, Mr. Mitchell is coming forward. I represent him privately. There's no action to take in his case today. Stay on the current scheduling order, Judge.
Okay. Here he goes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State versus Dylan Statham, 17,401. Theft of property, altering VIN number.
Judge, we're here for a pretrial hearing. At this point in time, there are no pretrial issues. We'll come back in February for a plea deadline.
Okay, here to go. Daniel Adams, 17,398. Delivering controlled substances, unlawful use of a communication device.
Now we're here for purpose of changing our plea.
Mr. Adams, I'm looking at a police statement and some conditions of suspension or probation. Have you gone over these?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel you understand what's in these documents? Do you understand the charges against you and the range of penalties if you're convicted?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty to possession of methamphetamine and unlawful use of a communication device?
Yes.
Okay. By entering your pleas, you're giving up your right to have a trial. You also cannot appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Have you been promised anything other than what's in these documents?
Yes, sir.
Has you been threatened with pressure to get you to change your
Yes,
plea? Are you guilty of these crimes?
Yes, sir.
Would you rather I look on here?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
It appears to me that on or about March 13th of 2017, this gentleman, I think the state's amending these charges.
Right.
On or about March 13th of 2017, this man was in possession of some methamphetamine. And in attempting to make some sort of arrangement to sell it, he used he used a cell phone.
Okay. Did you do that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This time, sir, I accept your pleas. I judge you guilty on each count. You're sentenced to 5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those will be suspended. You pay $200 in cost, a $2,000 fine, a DNA fee of $250, $20 booking fee, a drug crime assessment of $125, and pay what you owe at the minimum rate of $100 per month beginning within 30 days. Payments are made to the Sheriff's Department here in Baxter County. And before you leave, you'll need to see the probation officer.